Hello, I'm Tom and I'm one of the coaches here at Black Country Barbell, and today I just want to take you through filming your sets. Okay, why do we film our sets? What's like the benefit for you and the coach? And then what's the best angle to go for? Okay, so today I'm going to loosely use squat and deadlift as the main example, but it does apply for majority of lifts. So why do we film our sets? So it is as much for our benefit as a coach as it is for your benefit as someone who's training. Reason being, if you're doing a movement, you can only get so much feedback from that lift, okay? You know how it felt, and you can roughly decide what sort of position you were in, whether it's a good position or a bad position, okay? Now if you've got a video, you've got visual feedback on that. You can see, if we stick with a squat, you can see if we've tilted forward a bit too much. We can see if our hips have fired too much out of the bottom. We can see how far our knees are tracking over our toes, whether we're hitting depth, which will be the most important thing. Are we rocking into the front of our foot and not keeping the weight through the mid-foot to heel? So we get all those sort of feedback from it, okay? And then as a coach, what we get from it is, at the end of the day, if you're training, if you're doing an online program or just training on your own, we don't, 9 times out of 10 we won't see you lifting. So whatever you say to us or write in that app is gospel, okay? So what we like to have is a bit more visual feedback on that front. So we can say, right, for example, you're going to squat 3 reps at 100 kilos today. Now, we might go to you after the session, right, how did that feel? And you can say, yeah, it felt great, mood fine, blah, blah, blah. And we'd have to take that. If we've got a video, we can literally see how it went. So you can see, right, again, all those points. Was your back straight? Did you get depth? Did your knees rock in? We can see by your facial expression how hard it was. We can see if it moved fast or slow. We can see if it moved in an efficient path. We can get all this little data from this video, and therefore that will help us program for the weeks coming. So again, if you say to us, yeah, 100 kilo for 3 felt easy, and we go, okay, cool, and the next week we up you to 105 or 110, when realistically it was harder than you've made it out to be, then that is going to have a iffy result on your training. Whereas if we get the video, we can see, right, that wasn't the best. We can either keep it the same for the week after, or drop 2.5 to 5 kilos off it and get a better set out, and then go from there. Okay, so angles wise, again, talk about squats and deadlifts. From a coach perspective, if I've got a competent lifter, then I always give them the option. I don't really mind if it's a side facing 90-degree angle or if it's a front facing 45-degree angle. Okay, because I can get all the information out of those angles. If it's quite a new lifter or someone that's not used to the movement or someone that's quite new to my coaching, then from there I always ask for a side facing angle, and basically what I get from that is I'll be able to see, for squats and deads, I'll be able to see if your back is straight. I'll be able to see where our depth is. So if we're getting a squat, are we hitting depth? When we're in a deadlift, are we starting in a low enough position, or are we starting too low, or are we starting too high? I'll be able to see that in the start of the deadlift or the bottom of the squat, are our hips firing too soon, or are we keeping that chest up nice and high and moving as a unit? We'll be able to see where our knees are in relation to the lift. We'll be able to see our bar path. So is the bar going in a nice straight efficient line? Is it wobbling all over the place? And we can get all that from it. Again, back to if I've got a competent lifter, one that I trust, hits depth in squat majority of the time, maybe a couple of reps they might slip a bit. Or if I know that their bar path is solid and I've got no issue with that, then I'm happy to have a front facing 45-degree angle, and again I can still get a good sight on where the depth is in the squat, where the hips are starting at deadlift. Are our hips firing too soon? I can still see if our back stays straight, but I can also now see knee alignment. We can see the tracking, but are we shifting in or out? I can also see facial expression, so I can actually physically see how hard the lift feels to you. And then that way, again, I can make more judgment based on the lifts going forward. And we can also see whether our weight shifts from leg to leg during the lift. So it's not uncommon for someone to come out of the bottom of a squat and shift that dominant leg. So we can kind of see that and adjust from there. So yeah, that's why we film lifts. Those are the angles that are best to go for. Stick with those angles unless the coach specifies otherwise. There are times where I've used a complete front-facing lift, and that will literally just be to determine, are our knees buckling in, are we shifting side to side.